Welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. I have 6 goals for 2026 that I am going to share with all of you today. It has taken me a hot minute to decide on my goals. I had a page of goals and I knew I didn't want to do that many, so decided that I could reduce down to 6. And I thought it'd be fun to go over these today. And instead of just you not having anything to look at, I am working on reorganizing my stash box where I keep all of my extra drills that I do not need from a canvas. And so I'm just going to be working on that and going over my goals. Let me know in the comments if you have any goals, if you don't like to do goals, or if you haven't even thought about them. But I'm going to rearrange and I will be right back. While I go over my goals with you guys, I have some new stickers that I'm going to be adding to some dividers for my stash, and I decided to go with purple. I did get these from Add More Zest. I thought it would be just easier for me to order from them than have to get my cutting machine out and set it up myself. I probably should have. That's kind of the lazy way for me to go about it. But I thought I would just start working on these as we talk today. And let me know in the comments too when I'm going over my goals what you think about these goals and if I should make any changes in your opinion or if I am setting myself up too much. Now, one part of my goals, I did use the SMART goal method. We use that at work. I am an educator, and so every year we have to go with our SMART goals. And so with that, I needed to make sure that my goals were achievable, that they were also timely, that I'm able to determine if I'm going to be able to get my goals done, if I can determine that my goals are going to be done, and if my goals are even worth doing. So I did go through all of my goals, and these aren't in any type of specific order. I just decided that it worked out for me, and so I'm just going to keep them in the order that I'm going over with you, but it's not in an order to where I need to accomplish something first. So the first one is to complete 5 mini canvases, and I have so many. I do not include my mini canvases in my stash count, which I am now calling my inventory, because I have just so many of those and they're so small that I don't count them. I probably should. I might eventually count those and then have that as a separate count. I have thought about doing that, so I potentially might once I have them all in the proper order that I want. And last year, 2025, I decided that I was going to do 12, that I wanted to do one a month. I did that for 3 or 4 months, and then I got kind of bored with it and honestly just stopped and never got back to it. I don't even know how many that I completed in 2025. That's going to be another video. So if you're interested in seeing all of my completions as well as my goals and how well that I did, then stay tuned for that one. And I also want to refresh my stash. And I've been mentioning this quite often in my whipping chats that I have on Tuesdays. And what I plan on doing is that I have a lot of diamond paintings from 2021 until 2024. I honestly did not realize how many that I had until I started putting them in order, in some type of order, and then also putting them on a spreadsheet. When we moved this past year, I went ahead and decided that I really needed to have some type of organization, and I enjoy organizing. So that wasn't a problem at all for me. But because I do enjoy organizing, I tend to overanalyze things. That's also the educator in me, too, I think. But I have completed most of that. I had diamond paintings in 3 different places because of our move. And then also I did a huge de-stash right before we moved. And I didn't even know how many I had at the time, but I know that I did a huge de-stash. I did not take all those off of my Excel schedule like I should have. So that was something else that I had to take into consideration. So I will be completed probably in the next week or two. I will have all of my inventory. I'll have all of it on my spreadsheets. It's also, I'm going to be keeping them in a room that's in our garage. And if they're on a shelf, the shelves are numbered. So all I have to do if I want to look for a diamond painting is look on my spreadsheet, and it will tell me exactly what shelf and what number that I have labeled that shelf or that section of the shelf, so I can go straight to it. That's the plan anyway. So I will have that done, and I'll know exactly how many that I have for each year. I'm going through, and on the companies that are still around, I am able to go through, look through all of my orders and see how old each of mine are. I also have a a basic just a basic description of when I did purchase them, so I kind of know what year. But I was really surprised to find that I did have so many remaining from 2021 as I was going through my orders, especially from Diamond Art Club. So I want to reduce or refresh my stash by 20%. And what that means for me is that I'm going to have at least 20% of my older diamond paintings completed by the end of 2026. Whether that is me destashing them or completing them, that doesn't matter. As long as they are no longer in my stash as of December 31st, 2026, then I will be happy. And 20% really doesn't seem like a very high amount, but when I am looking at my stash and about how many that I complete in the year, and the majority of my stash I have gone through and decided already what I want, what I don't want, and then what I'm kind of undecided on. So I'm going to go 20%. I might change that later on, and if I go over or under, it is okay, but it's just a good starting point for me. And some of my older diamond paintings are already in my whip rotation, so that will be good too. I will start on those first. How I plan on refreshing my stash is I'm going to kit up an older diamond painting once a month and get as much as I can done, and then hopefully by the end of the year that will be completed. I have decided that on refreshing my stash, that's also going to go into what I am calling my whip detox. Now, on refreshing my stash, that concept or the name of that particular goal came from Lizette Crafts and Tales. She is doing a huge refresh for the year. I always follow along with her, and I thought, well, this would be a good time for me as well. I had been talking about just doing something with my older diamond paintings, working on them, getting them out of my inventory and finished or to destash. And so when she came up with this concept of refreshing the stash, I thought this is a perfect time. I'm going to join in on her, with her, and I'm going to follow along with her, see how she does on her progress, and then I'm going to also keep mine, a list of mine. Now, as I mentioned, this also goes into my whip detox, and this came from Queen of Diamonds, who is going to be working on her work in progress, or her whips. Now, she has more than I do. I think she has around 25 that she started on but has not finished. I have 18, approximately 18. I have not gone through and made sure that that's correct, but just looking at my works in progress, I'm coming up with 18, and that's really not that bad, because I feel like I like to have whips going. I'm not one of those that can do just one diamond painting at a time, get that one finished, and then start on something else. I do like to have multiple whips going, but to have 18 is okay, but it's starting to get to where I'm not going to finish those because I'm always starting on a new canvas. So I will be working on those. There's one that I'm going to start with, and that is my Hannah Lynn. That is Cozy Coffee or Cozy Morning. It's something to do with coffee. Anyway, that one is about halfway completed. I'm going to be doing that for the pink and black event hosted by Crafty Christian, and then also by Dark and Creepy, which is Marshmallow. I'm doing that in January, and so that one I'm going to start on. Then I have two others that are close to being complete. I'm going to work on those. And then as part of the whip detox, it kind of goes into play where when I said to refresh my stash, if I hit up one of those every month, that's going to add to my whips or my work in progress. And that was going to be a problem. So I needed to figure out how to work on both of those, and I'm not fighting my goals, because that would not help out if I'm doing SMART goals. So what I decided to do is that I looked at my 18 whips. I have 4 that are older. And when I am saying older, I'm saying from 2021 to 2024. That's what I'm considering my older paintings. An early part of 2024. So more than likely up to June of 2024. But what I'm going to do is I have at least 4 that I have in my whips right now. Instead of me kitting up January through April, I'm going to consider those 4 as my kit ups. Now, if I finish one of those, or as I do finish, if I finish before April, then I can go ahead and kit up another one. But I do want to get those out. I also have 2 diamond paintings that I am not considering as part of my stash, or it's in my stash, but it's not going to be considered a whip. I'm not adding that to my 18, which would of course give me 20, but those 2 projects I am going to be doing as a project, not as a whip. It is going to be an all-year project. That one is going to be my temperature project that I am going to be starting this year. And that one I'll be doing monthly until the end of the year. So I'm not including that as part of my 18 whips. And then also I'm going to be doing a stitch along. And on that one, you have not seen it yet, but that's from Heaven and Earth Designs. And the stitch along is going to be an all year stitch along. And that one I am going to be doing as a separate project. And also, I did not set a goal for that one, but I would like to have 25% complete at the end of every quarter. I don't know if I can do that. There is a challenge on this stitch along that if you complete 6 pages of the stitch along, you will receive all of the patterns where you had the option of ordering. You can only order one, and so you have the option of all the patterns, of receiving all the patterns if you complete at least 6 pages of the stitch along by the end of the year. And I'm hoping that I can. If you complete all of it, you do receive a special project that is just for the ones that finish the stitch along. I don't think I will get it finished, but I might. So if I do, that's great. I'm really just wanting to get the 6 pages done, and I think I can do it. Also, I want to complete one passion project. I have already kitted both of those up. I have unboxed both of those on my channel, and that was Margaret Morales, Sleeping with Butterflies, and then Hades and Persephone. The passion project also was one that came from Lizette. And a passion project is just where you are passionate about either the artist or the actual subject that you are diamond painting. So I want to complete one of those, which would be my Margaret Morales. I haven't even started on it. That one I'm not going to start on it yet until I get some of my whips down. I need to get those down to an acceptable level before I kit up Passion Project. I'm not going to kit any newer paintings up either while I'm working on my whip detox until I get ready to kit up my Josephine wall. That one is going to be an out to where I am going to allow myself to do that. I am hosting the Josephine Wall event in April, so of course I have to get my Josephine Wall diamond painting ready to start, so that one will be an exception. And then also I want to complete one XL or extra large diamond painting. For my extra large diamond painting, it has to have at least 100 centimeters, at least on one side. It has to either be the length or the width has to be at least 100 centimeters, or it has to be max colors. So my Josephine wall, it may not work for the size of the canvas, but it's going to work for the number of colors. I am not sure which Josephine wall I'm going to work on, so it could go either way on that one. I'm also hoping that I can have 19 completions at the end of the year, and I really went big on 2025, and it was quite a bit more than 19 that I wanted to complete, but I decided that for 2026 I'm going to have quite a few larger canvases. That's the plan anyway, for me to have for me to work on larger canvases. And so to do that, I'm going to have less completions. And I'm not in any kind of race, anything like that. I don't have to have so many completions because other content creators have completions, and then I feel like I need to have more than them, or I need to have as much as they do. But my intention goes back to my refresh my stash and my whip detox. So I still have to count my whips as part of my inventory count. And with me having over 200 diamond paintings, I only complete around 19 or 20 a year. I mean, I can't do math really well in my head, but that's an easy determination that I am never going to get my stash completed if I don't do something. I'm also, as part of the refresh my stash, I am refreshing it, but I'm also wanting to reduce my stash. So I'm not, again, I said 20% on the 2021 to 2024. I would like to have those done, I really would be happy as long as I have less coming in than I do than I have in the past. So I would like to have a negative number there to where I have finished diamond paintings, but I don't have any coming in to replace the ones that I finished. That would be amazing. I'm not giving myself a no buy. I'm not doing that. I would like to have a low buy. I don't see a point in buying a lot of diamond paintings just for the sake of buying them. If there's something that I feel like my granddaughter would want eventually, or my daughter would want in the nursery, then I might buy it. But I'm not going to buy something just because it is popular. I've done that so many times in the past, and it just comes back to bite me because I end up destashing or giving them away. I have lost, I can't tell you how much money because I have destashed, I've given away. Even if I am destashing and selling, you don't, or I don't charge. I do not sell an item for more than I paid for it. I don't even sell it for what I paid for it. It's always lower. A lot of times I use my points on ones that I am destashing, and even then you're losing out because you could use the points for something else. So I'm trying to be just really careful. There are certain diamond paintings now that I realize I absolutely love, and there's others that I'm like, why? Why would I think that I would really be in love with these diamond paintings? And so when that happens and I'm going through these, then I'm deciding it's probably for the best that you don't keep these. For instance, I mentioned on my last Whip and Chat that I have almost all of the Harry Potter posters from Diamond Art Club. And while I was really excited to get them, basically I was just collecting those. I wanted to do them at one point. Now I have realized I'm not really a fan of a bunch of just dark colors. I like to have really a variety. I don't know how I would feel about doing all of that black without much color because they're all very dark. And so I am thinking that those are going to be destashed. Right now I have them off to the side, so I probably will add that as part of my destash. I have never done a stitch along. Now this one we were given from Heaven and Earth Designs. We were given the entire pattern for the year. Last year when they did the stitch alongs, instead of the entire pattern, they just gave an amount like 25% each quarter, or each quarter. And this time they decided they would go ahead and do all of it, and they gave it to us on December the 27th. So I've had a couple of days to where if I wanted to work on it early, I could. I've gotten 600 drills down, or 600 stitches, and so that's, nothing, but I wanted to go ahead and get it started. And I did have to order some drills that I thought that I had included with my order, and I didn't. It was a whole page that I was missing on some of the drills, so I didn't want to really get started with it. But this is what it's going to look like. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. It is really not anything that I've done like this before, but this one is Stone Cottage Keep, which I think it's really, really pretty, and I need to look and see how much it is. This is just the mock-up, and I am like right over here on my little 600. I've started on the left. I'm going to work my way over. It is 85 colors. Stone Cottage Keep is by Amy Stewart. It is 85 colors, and let's see. It's a cross-stitch conversion. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's 305 wide by 289 high. Even has my name on the bottom. I did order my blank canvas from Heaven and Earth Design, and it was easy to do it that way because they knew exactly what I needed. I did get my drills elsewhere. I had some drills from Evermoment that I did not use from my last cross stitch conversion, and I had several of those left. I did have to order some. I ordered some from Diamond Drills USA. So this is my little 600. Now, and there is some gapping. I'm hoping that that will straighten out. I've never used Heaven and Earth Design canvas before. And, I mean, there's some here that's pulled up a little bit. I need to, I think I can straighten those up. But this is the way I have to have it folded up because it is so large that I do put it back into the container that it came in. I'm really liking these colors. It's going to be very dark, but as you can see here, I am just like right here. Now, going lengthwise, over here, I have 110 section square here, and that is going to be the first page for the lengthwise. Now, after I do this square here, I'm going to go down this way, and I will work down until I get the first page done. So I'm not going to go all the way across and just go to different pages. I'm going to do one page at a time. Now, with Heaven and Earth Design, they do not have this marked off like other companies do where they have the 10 mark. So I'm having to count. And I did use over on one of these squares, I went ahead and I used a Sharpie and just made the lines a little bit darker because these lines are kind of light. Right now I am doing 3 squares at a time, so that gives me 300 drills. And if I can do 300 drills a day by the beginning of December, I will be done with this diamond painting. But I need to do at least 250. 250 will give me to the end of the year. I would like to do more than 300 a day, but I don't want to get burnt out on this. This is one, if you haven't done a cross stitch conversion, you have to count on this. And so I have to really think about it. And at one point when I was doing my last cross stitch conversion, I could do 4 down and like 6 across and do that many at one time. Once I get started on this, and I haven't done a cross stitch conversion in about 1.5 years, so once I get started on this and get going, then I should be able to do more. And so that's going to help out with me getting at least 300. And 300 drills is really not that much, but I wanted to give myself grace on those days that I'm so busy with work or that I just can't diamond paint. And so if I can't, I can't. But hopefully I will get this done. But it's a big one. But I'm loving the colors right now. This one you will not see on my monthly WIP parade or my end of month parade that I'll continue to show. I'm going to show this one every month or two and show you what my progress is. And the same thing with the temperature chart. I'm really excited to start on that one too. And I'll be showing you that every couple of months or so, just as I get really into that and show you what it looks like. So to recap on my goals, I am going to have 5 minimum canvases, five mini canvases. I'm going to have my refresh, my stash from 2021 to 2024. I'm going to complete at least 1 passion project. I'm going to work on my WIP detox. I'm going to complete at least 1 extra large painting, and hopefully I will have 19 completions and then work on this one. And I guess I could add this to my goals. That would give me 7 goals instead of 6, but I'm noodling over that too. I want to keep it at 6 because that would be 2026. I know, kind of weird, but I guess I could go with 7. But I'm really excited about this stitch along and excited to see how this is going to come out. It is a lot of browns and greens, so and I also don't want to do too much of this. I'm afraid I'm really going to burn out. Let me know what you think about my goals and what you think about this stitch along, and if this is something that you would like to do eventually, is a stitch along or a cross-stitch conversion. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, please click on the like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you here. I have a lot planned for 2026 and hoping that I do get more diamond painting time. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye!